Hi everybody. It's it's Thursday, February 7th, 2008. Thanks for stopping by. Real quick news about Ron Paul. Looks like Romney has dropped out of the race, which is really good news. That means it is down to a three-person race with Huckabee, McCain, and Ron Paul. I think it's pretty significant that Ron Paul is still in the race at this point. And it's also very significant that he is the only candidate who's not in debt. Huckabee has no money. McCain has no money. But Ron Paul still has plenty of money in the bank. And that's very significant. That says a lot about his popularity. Now, think about one thing. Anywhere you go, you will see Ron Paul signs. You might even see banners. Ron Paul has had his own blimp with his name on it. And of course, the blimp's not in the air anymore, but he was the only candidate who had one at all at any time in history. And that's pretty significant. How many times have you seen a McCain banner over a highway? How many McCain signs have you seen? What about Huckabee? When was the last time you saw a Huckabee sign or a crowd of people waving Huckabee signs or putting out banners for Huckabee? When was the last time you heard about anybody doing that for any candidate? Never. It just doesn't happen. Those candidates don't have that kind of support. Ron Paul has hardcore, enthusiastic support, and a lot of it. But frankly, there's just a lot of people that haven't heard of him yet, and there's a lot of people who believe the propaganda and don't think that he can win, simply because the people on television repeat it so many times. Now, in the media, they're saying that McCain has already won the election, which is hogwash. It's just not true. The election will continue for a long time, and there's no clear front runner. Granted, Ron Paul is behind, but that can change. One thing that was pointed out to me today was when Abraham Lincoln got the Republican nomination, he went to a brokered convention because there was no front runner. And he got the Republican Party nomination with fewer delegates than Ron Paul has right now. And that's very significant. So not only is it a possibility, it's not even that far-fetched that Ron Paul could win in a brokered convention. And there's a lot of time he might be able to mount a comeback. He might be able to unseat McCain, especially when when people are presented with a choice between McCain and Paul, and there's no other voices out there muddying up the discourse. It's going to be a real clear choice at that point. Do you want to commit America to be in Iraq forever, or do you want to get out? Do you want somebody who has no idea about economics, or do you want an economic expert as the economy comes crashing down around us? Do you want somebody who's optimistic, or do you want someone who's pessimistic? It's a very basic choice. And McCain is a twisted, cynical person, in my opinion, with not a whole lot to recommend him to us in any way. So there's that. Just remember, the media is not telling the truth. They're saying that this race is over, and it's not. It's anything but over. There's a long way to go, people. There's several months left in this campaign. So don't let anyone tell you that it's over. And by the way, as I've said before, there is no truth on television. The television is an amusement park for your mind. It's a propaganda service. It's not real. And, I'd like to, expand that statement a little bit and say that the people on TV are your enemies. They are attempting to deceive you. They're attempting to enslave you with lies and deceptions. So, I don't watch the news. I don't even read websites that have reporting on them very often. Occasionally I will flip by something and I'll notice a headline, but I stay away from them like the plague because, let's face it, folks, this is what they're using to enslave us. They're using the media. And, once you get someone thinking what you want them to think, that's it, At that point, you don't have to worry about that person opposing you anymore. You don't have to worry about somebody who has no idea what's really going on in the world, who thinks that, the exact opposite of the truth. You don't have to worry about that person anymore. And they don't have to worry about us as long as we watch the news and read the newspapers and read the websites that they control. They don't have to worry about us because we are in their reality at that point. They have poisoned our minds with lies, with hate, with cynicism, with very subtle forms of racism, maybe for different minorities, but, and maybe for the traditional minorities. I don't know, but, there's just a lot of racism and hate and darkness out there and poison for our minds. So, I would caution you very strongly to disconnect yourself from that while you can. Don't let them poison your mind. Don't let them deceive you and pull the wool over your eyes. Ignore it. Step past it. Get around it. Turn off your television. Drop your newspapers. Don't pay them any attention. I know it's difficult to do, but it's absolutely vital in my opinion. Turn those things off. They're the shackles that are around your ankles, quite literally. And read. Do research on the internet. It's a wonderful thing that we have Google and YouTube and all these other websites that we can go to, and we can find out information on anything in the world that we're curious about. And we don't need the media. We don't need Yahoo News or MSNBC or CNN or NBC or any of these people, because they're all in it together and they're all lying. And they're telling the same coordinated lies. That's what really is, that's what really will make you want to turn it off for good, is when you realize they're all using the same words. They're all saying the same lies. So turn them off and you'll be a lot better for it. I guarantee you. Educate yourself. Read, research, and think for yourself. Don't let these people think for you anymore. Don't hate people you don't know. Don't support violence or oppression. Don't support the abdication of your rights, your human rights, your civil liberties. Don't ever let anybody take those away from you. So anyway, I'm off my soapbox again. Thanks for stopping by.